How we doing, man?
I'm doing good, man.
Dude, I'm excited for this one because our team really doesn't know you or really know who you are. So first of all, just introduce yourself, where you're from, how long you've been doing insurance, what you got you into insurance, whatever you want to share. Give us a quick 2 minute introduction.
I can do it in 60 seconds. I got licensed in 2016. Property, casualty, Medicare, life, health, annuity. Did it all. Okay. Started with a captive insurance company for 8 weeks. Decided that's stupid. You can buy leads. You can buy your clients. Got introduced to the IMO world. Started buying leads. After about 4 months, I figured it out. After about 5 or 6 months, annuities was introduced to me. And far as what I did before this, I managed at a motorcycle dealership, made $36,000 a year on salary plus 2% commission on whatever we sold extra, which meant like $400 monthly bonus. I ran a nightclub as a VIP manager Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and then I sold motorcycles on the side and bought cars off Craigslist to flip them, all to try to make $100,000 a year. And it was hard. That's all you need to know about me as far as what I did before and how long I've been doing this.
Let's go. All right.
Yeah.
So if you guys, so we actually didn't even plan this, but you just happened to be on the morning call this morning. So if you guys missed that, you guys missed a great call. But one thing that Gabe said that I really resonated with, coming from somebody that has personally produced 100K, is like, get, it's if you come into this with the mentality of like, all right, in order to increase my income, I did 20, so I need to do 40, and then 40 to 60, and then 80, and then 100K. I can tell you from experience of someone that's produced $100,000. I think people should do it, just say they did it, and just to have the experience of it. Like, do it once if you want to. I think that's great, and I'm all for that. But it is not sustainable, and it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to write that amount of life insurance within a given month. And so Gabe made a really good point. He said, if you're producing 40K and you want to increase your income, your personal production income, well, instead of doing 80, implement annuities with that. So talk to us about what that looks like and how long you were selling life insurance until you started introducing annuities and how you got into this world.
Well, most important thing to identify is I got into this role because of the money. And it's okay to talk about that. I think sometimes we get a little far away from it. I love helping clients. I love protecting people. I love knowing that we're creating a generational safe hold around their family and their income. But I got into this because I wanted to make some money. Okay. I just told you guys how hard I was working just to barely make 100 grand. It was a grind. I had no free time. I was killing myself, right? So after about 5 months, when I had put some serious numbers up on the life insurance side, um, I had downloaded the commission grid and it showed that I made 4% commission on an annuity. And I call my upline and I go, "What's in it? Why would I ever sell this product if I get paid 4%?" And he goes, "Well, it's 4% of whatever you roll over." And I literally just went, "Stop right there. What the hell does roll over mean? I have no clue." And then he explained to me, it's like, dude, if you meet somebody that left a job, has money with their old 401k and rolls it into an annuity, you get 4% of that amount. And I said, "Okay, so you mean to tell me if somebody has $500,000 and I roll it into an annuity, I get paid $20,000?" And he goes, "Yep." And I said, "How much up front? Like how much advance?" He goes, "All of it." And it just dawned on me. It's like, okay, I've been selling life insurance long enough. I know that there's that question on my financial inventory that says, "What do you have that acts like life insurance?" I was asking, but I had no clue what could come of asking. And I was blown away that nobody, like, why are we, I don't want to get frustrated. I don't want to yell at anybody, but I was upset that nobody told me that day one. You told me that you mean to tell me that I'm passing up $20,000 commission checks right and left because I'm finding money selling, insurance in Scottsdale, Arizona, Seattle, Washington, you know, high income places. I'm finding money, but it was not long. I'm not confused on the commission side. And to me, nobody had shown me a way to get a $15,000 lump sum money with anything I've ever done or sold in my entire career of anything ever. So I'm like 26 years old at this time, and I'm going, okay, well, if that can get me $20,000, how many life insurance plans am I going to have to sell to equal $20,000? So, Milo, let's figure this out. If I want to keep $20,000, but I know that people charge back, cancel, things like that. So I probably got to sell a conservatively 27 plans. Okay. So how many leads do I have to buy to get 27 plans on the books, sold, paid for, commissioned out? Okay. So that's a couple hundred. Okay. So how many appointments do I have to set? All right. Probably at least 45, maybe 50. And then how many days of work will it take to sell that many plans to keep that much premium? And what I realized was, okay, so now we're talking weeks of time it takes to make that same money, or 2 or 3 appointments on the annuity conversation with one client that I already sold insurance. So now I'm making $1,000 for the client who asked for insurance. So my time's been paid for. And then I spend another hour, maybe two. Usually the annuities were 2, sometimes 3 sit closes. And then I was getting 15, 20K. And I was like, oh my gosh, like ROI. Like what are we doing here? I can increase the profitability of my business. I can spend less time. More importantly, Jonah, I was able to buy my time back. I was able to buy my time back. I was able to issue 100,000, $150,000 months doing both. Always selling 30, 40, 50K a life. That's easy. That's child's play. We all know how to do that. It's only hard for the first 6 or 8 weeks. Once you get the hang of it, you got the hang of it. You know how to pull up an app, underwrite, cheat sheet, prescription, amlodipine, Symbicort, Montelukast. You get it figured out pretty quick. But then it was like the floodgates were opened up because I was like, oh my gosh, this is the Infinity Stones. I'm going full Thanos mode because now I can sell one person multiple times a variety of things, which pay me lumpy money. And so I was able to buy my time back. And at that time, Jonah, your best leads were direct mail leads. You would spend $2,000 a week on sending mail out, take you 4 weeks to get the leads back. So when I made that first check of, I think it was $14,000 was my first annuity check. I literally did nothing with that money except called Clay at Lead Concepts. I said, "Hey, buddy, I'd like to up it to $2,500 a week of mail drops." Boom. Since that moment, after the very first annuity, I never went backwards for $2,500 worth of lead drops. Furthermore, Jonas, in 2020, I took a little personal time out of the business. Okay. I was able, because of annuities, to fund my lead mail drops for 3 months without even selling a policy because of annuities. Now, I'm not saying do that. Don't take time off the business. I had some own crazy things going on in my life. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't stop buying my leads. You know what happened when I came back, Jonas? I had like a 2.5 inch thick stack of printed out leads. And I was like, I looked at that stack. I'm like, well, there's at least $200,000 of money in here. And I went and crushed it. I mean, it was brilliant. So the annuities allow me to reinvest in my business and buy my time back. I was able to spend more time recruiting, spend more time training, spend more time coaching, spend more time working with the types of clients that I wanted to work with. And so annuities set me free. And there was a very, very, very intellectual, very successful, very inspirational gentleman at one of my previous companies that pulled me aside after 11 months in the business when I was a rookie and I had done more annuities than anybody had ever done. I sold more life insurance than anybody except one person. And he goes, Spencer, you cracked the code, dude. You figured it out early that the way you make and keep the money is by offering annuities in addition to the life insurance. Now, the best part about this, Jonah, is I've ran annuity leads, I've ran annuity seminars, I've ran lunch and learns, I've gone to Maricopa County Correctional Facility, I've done retirement seminars, I've done all the things to find annuity opportunities. To this day, my favorite and most profitable annuity lead opportunity is the mortgage protection or final expense lead because I'm literally making money selling the insurance while finding the retirement opportunity. There's no lead. I was spending $400 a lead. Imagine spending $6,000 in a month on leads before one even converts. And I'm just crossing my finger hoping it. And I was like, okay, yes, I'm making money on the leads. Yes, it's working, but it's crazy. I could have sold multiple mortgages. I could have made $8,000 deposit. I could have done a $16,000 week in insurance, gotten paid and found drove it out of people's houses or had them email me statements. I was like, this just isn't the right way to do it. So um, I hope that gives you some insight.
Yeah, man, dude, I'm kicking myself right now because all of the life insurance policies I've written and all the premium I've placed in force, and I've only done one annuity. And because I wasn't really talked about our part company, and nobody that I knew that was really just was writing them, and it wasn't a thing back then. So it's really cool to see the pinnacle structure and like how you can just boom phone somebody in, even if you have no idea what you're doing, and they'll split the commission with you.
Yeah, there's a gentleman that you guys should really pay attention to at Summit. His name is Travis Vincent. He's very unique. Okay. Travis Vincent is very unique because he's been in insurance. This is his third year. Every year that he's been, every full year in insurance, he's hit President's Club every year. And it wasn't until about 6 months ago that he started going, okay, I'm going to start offering annuities. Now, let me tell you what he did different, Jonah. Instead of learning a single thing about annuities, the only thing he got really good at was setting the table for the specialist. To this day, for this year, he's made over $38,000 in additional commission by teeing up a specialist who does all the work for him. He just waits for the paycheck. I mean, I'm like, whoa. I was like, wait, I thought I did it good because I went and learned how to do it. It's like you have figured it out. Hey, 50% referral fee, you do all the work. I'll just wait for the check. I'll let you know when it clears my bank account. I was like, holy cow. So Travis Vincent's going to be on stage and he's going to use some of his word tracks and tell you guys exactly how to do that. But I'll tell you what, man, we have the team of people in place to close these annuities for you. They obviously have incentive to get it done. You have incentive to tee it up for them because they're very, very good. We have very, very skilled professionals with extremely high close rates, and they have an abundance of resource to make sure that they can get your client closed. But I'll tell you what, dude, $38,000. Everybody on this call would be like, "Well, damn, that's pretty good." In addition to all the life insurance I've sold, so Travis Vincent is somebody I want you to pay attention to at Summit. It's a pretty important name because he literally sells President's Club every year, $400,000 or more of life insurance. He has not dialed it back at all on that. He's just teeing up the specials and getting it off his plate and waiting for that paycheck. I mean, it's astonishing. I'm very impressed with that mindset because some people will want to. Quint may come in and be like, "No, dude, I've got the financial brain. I've got the numbers brain. I'm hungry for that opportunity. I want to learn it." But then Clint may be like, no, like I got a team, I got agents, I'm recruiting, I got a kid, and I'm selling life insurance and I'm hitting my goals. Let me just pass this off and wash my hands of it. Pontius Pilate, read the Bible. Like you can get out of the way of the specialists and let them crush.
Yeah. And I hope all of you guys on this call realize like not only do we have an annuity specialist team, but like, dude, these are some of the highest caliber guys in the country in regards to annuities between you, Jeff Funkleist, David Pyle, Jesse Hant. Like, dude, these guys have written more annuities than pretty much anybody in the game. So that's really cool. And speaking of David Pyle, I would encourage you guys to go up and talk to him at Summit because if you'll talk to him, he's like, "Oh yeah, like I accidentally write $500,000 in life insurance a year, and I'm not even trying to. Like I don't even care about it. I'm just
Yeah.
trying. I'm solely looking for the annuities. That's all I care about. I just writes a 500,000 like it's nothing."
Yeah, there's a lot of specialists like exactly like David and JVK and Jesse Hantla. It's like we all joke about it. Like we sell a lot of life insurance, but we are only selling life insurance to find the annuity opportunity. Like one of my first, okay, so I told you guys my first annuity check was 14,000. Within 6 months, I had asked a client these questions, and this was back in the in-person time frame, but the same exists virtual. So don't think this can only happen in person. I asked the client if he had a 401k and he'd ever experienced any losses in it. And he said he didn't say anything. He scooted his chair back, reached behind him. On the bar top was an opened and unfolded quarterly statement from his 401k with $780,000. And he goes, "You mean like this?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "Oh, it looks like you lost $28,000 in the last quarter." He goes, "I know. I'm pissed." He's like, "I don't even know who to call about that." I was like, "Well, if you don't mind, I'll take this home and I'll see what I can do for you." That commission check was $42,000. It was only 16 months prior to that, Jonas, that my salary was 36,000. I called my dad. I said, "Dad, listen to this." And he's like, "That's insane, son. Like, that's tremendous. Like, awesome." Like, but the point is, it was a laydown. I see all these deals come through the back office and I'm notating. I'm calling these people and going, "Hey, how did you find that?" Lay down, lay down. Guy sold a house, needs to get rid of the money before capital gains. Person inherited $250,000, needs to put it in a place before capital gains. A person that's got $600,000 of cash in their bank account because they don't trust the market. Lay down. I mean, the amount of laydowns are astonishing. Like I want a laydown tracker for lack of a better term, but all it is, guys, is people just asking these questions, and it's like, don't. go your whole career and miss. The only reason I lasted as long as I did in the insurance space was because I knew there was lumpy money out there. The biggest commission I've ever gotten was over $150,000. One client, one deal, three meetings. What? What?
How many hours did you invest into that?
Literally three meetings, about an hour a meeting. Literally about an hour a meeting. About an hour a meeting. I think the first meeting, yeah, an hour the first one, probably an hour and a half the second one, because she had one of her friends that was like involved in her finances to some degree come and ask a bunch of questions, which I ended up selling a $200,000 annuity to her friend. I mean, just insane.
That's
And
that's 50 grand an hour. It's not a bad hourly, right?
and she called me 40 minutes before the mortgage protection appointment and said, I have plenty of money, don't come. True story, down here in Florida. True story. I pull up to the house. I was like, God damn, maybe she does have plenty of money. It's like a $7 million crib, dude. I was like, oh my God. Um, just it's not that hard. You just got to ask, and it's either like so for me, all that was the eye-opening thing for me was like show me the commission, and I'm here to make money, and if that has the biggest opportunity for me to make money. And before that, Jonah, we didn't have a specialist team. We didn't have ask a specialist. We didn't have somebody to do case design. I literally attempted to sell eight on my own, and then I got the bag on the ninth. And in the first eight, one of the guys was an executive retiring from Boeing. He was the vice president of international sales. Jonah, he literally, his job was to sell 50 737s to Ethiopian Airlines, sell 25 to Ryanair. Like he was doing hundreds of millions of dollars of deals. Like this guy's the cheese. Like, I mean, like
Ballin'.
balling, yeah. And I pitched him a $1.6 million annuity, but hell, you want to know what, dude? That 1 hour, I probably learned 15 grand worth of education in that 1 hour because I
Oh
saw
yeah, and oh yeah, and that's okay. Like I think that's why like a lot of agents like they're so fearful of getting into annuities just because they don't want to look stupid. But like, dude,
bro,
who gives a crap? Who gives a single crap? Because
my
well, I
entire
think
career.
worst case scenario, you're not going to close it, and like you said, you learned an important lesson.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Look how much money Jim Carrey's made off looking stupid.
Yeah,
How's that?
for real.
How's that, right? Look how much money Spencer Faggioni's made off being an nincompoop. Like, dude, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's not really that hard. All you're doing is teeing up the specialist. You mean you can't read some product brochures? Like, think of it. I said this on the call today, Jonah. You take the life insurance exam, 70 or 80% of it's about the life insurance laws, rules, and regulation. And then they slap in like 20 or 30% of it about annuities. Dude, they don't even think it's good. It's not even enough or important enough for them to have their own a test or a license for it. They just lumped it in with life. I'm like, oh my gosh, like every single person selling life insurance here has the same license required and necessary to offer annuities. No additional education required. You get appointed with the carrier, you watch their product training video, you have full access to be able to do their suite of products. And we have all the team and the resource and the education, the training, and we just got everything you need. And so I'm just trying to share with you that now's the time. It's better than ever to get involved in the annuity space. If you want a $20,000 lump sum check in addition to the 30 or 40 grand you're bringing on the life side, that's the only way I've found to do it. And I've been very profitable. Jonah, were you at the Hall of Fame or President's Club dinner at the last company last year?
Of course.
Okay. Did you notice when the true story? There was a charity auction that happened where people were offering up money to get to meet like a David Goggins or like an influencer type of person. What's really funny to me is I was the number two annuity producer and I sat right next to the number one annuity producer. And through that charity auction, which we're talking some of these bids were five, sometimes $10,000. Really not that much money. Not $1 million life insurance producer raised their hand, not one time to bid on anything to get the write-off that would inevitably come anyways, the 1099-R or whatever it's called. But the number one annuity producer and I are like, hey, you want to go half in on that one? Boom, hands raised. Hey, you want to go half in on that one? Boom, hands raised. We were just splitting this stuff. And Jonah was there. Like Jonah was there.
I
Not
saw it.
one, not one $1 million life producer raised their hand one time. And you know what's funny? It's because the nature of the life business is tough. Like to write that exorbitant amount of premium, it can be done. It's sick. They probably had the money. It's not that. But what about how much money they kept? What about the persistency? What about the fall off? What about all those things? What about the amount of leads you have to buy in order to write that much premium? Here I am still spending my same 2,500 bucks a week on leads, closing out 40, $50,000 deals right and left. Not right and left, but occasionally, but I would say my average commissions were in the 20s, biggest ones being over 150, some of them being in the 70 or 80. Imagine paying off all your credit cards all at once. The entire down payment I put on the house that I'm in right now was through 3 annuity deals. And it was I'm trying to, it was just, I knew I needed to buy a house. My wife was pressing me. We were in a townhome and she's like, "Hey, you sell a lot of insurance. When are we gonna change this?" Sort of, it's kind of funny. She's just, been with you 3 years. Like, let's get a house. I was like, "You're right. It is the time. I know exactly how to do it." I went and ran a bunch of life insurance, found annuity opportunities, bought a house. Simple as that.
Not only that, but bro, you owned a helicopter.
I
So
did.
we'll get into that story later on here if we have time, because
Yeah.
that's a dope story. You're
Okay.
pulling up to clients' homes in a helicopter. There's no there's not a more baller move than that. But before we get into that, I want to get into some more tactical stuff. Skylar and Ben beat me to the punch. So if you're down, let's role play. Just I'm a client. Give me the right questions to ask, and also the key selling points that you hit on for a client.
Tight. So the very first thing I did on my financial inventory on the question where it says client's name, age, occupation, in that exact section, that's where exactly I started every time. When it said occupation, I would ask 3 questions. I say, what do you do? How long you been doing it? And what were you doing before? And through those 3 questions, I was able to find out, oh, you're give me a career, Jonah, anything.
I'm a plumber.
I'm a plumber. Oh, great. Have you been with the same company? How long you been doing it
Yes,
there? How long you been doing it at that company?
20 years.
Wow, that's a long time, dude. And I know it was a while ago, but what were you doing before you were working at this company doing plumbing stuff? Were you still a plumber or were you doing something else?
I was a mechanic.
Oh, cool, dude. What kind of cars did you work on?
All sorts of cars.
Got it, man. I'm a little bit of a gearhead myself, but all right, perfect. And then a ballpark, how much money are you bringing in a year being a plumber right now? Just ballpark.
About 60 grand.
Cool. Stop. Role play pause. What I did was I found out that he's at a company for 20 years and he more than likely has a compensation package through the form of a 401k. And based off of Jonah's age, if he's over a certain age, we have full ability to access to roll that over into something else. I just started the appointment. This is like 2 or 3 minutes into the appointment, and I already have an idea of if he has an employer compensation package for retirement, which he does. A plumber working at any company has a 401k. If he had told us the contrary, he goes, "Oh, I've been here for 2 years," and I go, "What were you doing before?" "Oh, I was a mechanic for 18 years." Okay, cool. Now I know that he's got an old 401k. So right there, I've already got uncovered some stuff just by getting to know my client. And I did it in a way, Jonah, where I truly care. Oh, get out of town, dude. You're a plumber? I got 2 kids. I call a plumber every week, it seems like. You know what I mean? Like make a joke. Oh, cool. You work on cars, dude? I love working on cars. Terrible at it, but I like doing it? So I'm getting to know the client. I'm being personable, but I'm uncovering. I have very, very directed questions. So I've uncovered some of those assets. So then let's fast forward. You do the mortgage protection. You do the cost of your mortgage, the term length, taxes, insurance, what the monthly payment is. You do a little bit of their income analysis. Then you do all the health questions, any history of any high blood pressure, heart conditions, sleep apnea, stroke, cancer, diabetes, diseases, hospitalizations, DUIs, felonies, all that stuff. You do it for the spouse. Now you're at the bottom of that section, and now you get into the golden questions. Jonah, what do you have that acts like life insurance? Jonah, something that has a named beneficiary. God forbid you didn't come home from Walmart yesterday. Is there any accounts that have your wife listed as a beneficiary that would transfer to her? Something like a 401k, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, IRA, any sort of, significant savings?
Yeah, I have a 401k with my job.
Gotcha, gotcha. And you've been there for 20 years, you said, right? You getting the
Yep.
statements, probably 3 or 4 times a year. They mail it to you. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. Yeah, they do that.
Gotcha, dude. Real quick question, like ballpark. Last time you got that statement, what was the ballpark amount that you saw that was in there?
Oh man, about 400,000.
That's awesome, dude. That's huge. That's great. That's great. Very good. And then I would just go on. Like I would just move on right past that. Okay. So you don't want to ask too many questions right then and there because you're just trying to get a financial needs analysis for how much insurance they truly need. Now, the number one question I'll get from you guys, agents, at this exact point is going, what if they don't want to tell you? Okay. If they don't want to tell you and you're 20 minutes into your presentation, you've been acting weird the whole time. It's not this question. It's not this question that got them all like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could tell Spencer because, whatever. No, you've already been a weirdo. There's never one wrong thing you can say to the right client. There's never one right thing you can say to the wrong client. Okay. So
Yep.
don't be so alarmed that you're gonna derail the sale by asking. And in the event they ever do, I would say, Quint, listen, my job is to not come into your home, put all your information at the end of a shotgun, and go, "Shh, you get insurance, you get insurance, the dog gets insurance, the cat gets insurance." My job is not to do that. My job is to analyze the financial necessities of the insurance. And in the event that you have enough assets to cover yourself, that's what we call self-insurable. And if you are self-insurable, we have a different suite of products to protect someone like you that is self-insurable, utilizing and earmarking a very small portion of your own assets to cover the mortgage payments. God forbid you didn't come home from Publix yesterday. Does that make sense? Clients go, oh my God. Yeah, that does make sense. So now you've pivoted and you've told them, hey, if you don't need the insurance, I'll be the first to let you know. But there are a different suite of products that are available for that. Now, again, if you're new and you're trying to tee it up, you might not be able to rattle that all thing off. But the idea is if you ever get pushback, you'd be like, well, I'm here to look at the financial needs of the home. If you have $1 million in the bank account and you could pay this house off and you may not need it, let's have the conversation that applies to that. Okay. So then you go through on my sheet, I would ask the beneficiary. Then I would go, by this time, Jonah, like, you already know what product you're quoting and you already know what direction. You already have that carrier pulled up on your site and rolling up the quotes. So you go through with the mortgage protection, right? You quote it out, you give them the explanation of benefits, living benefits, critical, chronic, terminal illness. Let me break that down. Basically, I'm alive. How do I benefit from the plan? In the event of a cancer, stroke, heart attack, here, such and such and such and such happens. Okay. You own,
Sven,
yeah.
let me stop you there. Stop. Emphasize the importance of why it's important to close down the mortgage protection and sell them on a life insurance plan, even if your primary goal is to find the annuity.
Yeah, dude, the bait and switch is never comfortable for anybody. Sam, come over to my house. I'm gonna teach you how to do a kickflip. But here, let's do 10 laps on this BMX bike. And let me take you up the vert ramp. You'll be like, yo, what the hell, bro? The bait and switch, right? So you got to help the client with what they requested for you to help them with. And that's how you earn trust and that's how you earn credibility. And the best time to sell somebody something is immediately after you sold them something.
Yep.
So you got to earn their trust. You got to get them through that financial inventory. You got to stay focused on the goal. In the event that you have a client that sometimes I would ask questions like this, Jonah, and I probably wouldn't really recommend it, but it's important for you guys. Transparency is very important to me. Sometimes, depending on how the demeanor of the call went, if I'm really bonding with Jonah and I could float this question out there after he told me he had 400,000 in his 401k and we're vibing, I'd be like, Jonah, dude, I got to ask, man, do you see what happened in the market the last 30 days? Have you logged in and seen, like, have you lost any money? Jonah would be like, yeah, if you guys don't know, in the last 5 weeks, the S&P is down 8%, NASDAQ 11.7, and then the Dow, I think, is right around 6.9. All right, very, very bad week. As a matter of fact, the previous 6 months of growth of the stock market has been wiped out by the last 30 days. So no,
Invesco QQQ is even lower.
yeah,
Yep.
QQQ is even dirtier than that. So um, knowing that, following the right pages on Instagram, you literally can have a little bit more information to be able to be like, dude, let me float this question. Hey, dude, have you been beaten up lately? Like if Jonah and I is a young guy and I'd be like, dude, have you been torched like my account has in the market? You'd be like, yeah, dude, it's been trash. Like I'm losing money. 10% of 400,000 is 40 grand, guys. Hey, Jonah, how much more of that are you prepared to lose? Like how much more of your retirement funds are you willing to lose? And he's gonna go zero. Jonah, if I could show you a program that allowed you to protect from the losses, you can never earn less than 0%, but when the market does do well, you get to capture those gains. Would that help you with your retirement goals? Hell yeah,
Yeah.
it would. All right, cool. Don't let me forget, Jonah. Let's continue with this. Got to make sure we get the mortgage, your wife, your kids taken care of. Don't let me forget, remind me at the end, but don't let me forget to bring that up because I think
Mm.
that's action.
I've never heard that, but that's genius. Yeah. Don't let me forget. Don't let me forget to mention that. And then boom,
Oh
you
yeah,
just go right into it.
yeah, I'd be like, Jonah, dude, don't let me forget. Write it down, make a note, okay? Because sometimes I'm a little squirrely. I go really fast, but don't let me forget. I swear to you, there's a program that can offer those benefits and protect the rest of your retirement, and you never go backwards again. But let's keep rocking and rolling. Now, your beneficiary, is that going to be Claudia? in the event that you die?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then do you guys have any children? And I'm like, boom, right back into it, right back into it. But now I've got the guy being like, don't let me forget. All right. 8 times out of 10, they're like, hey, what were you going to tell me earlier about the retirement stuff? It's a fish on the hook, man. The line is taut. I'm reeling it in. After that, you're pretty good to set it up. So let's continue on with a little bit more word tracks and things like that. Um, at
Yep.
the end, you've closed, you've done your presentation, you've done the explanation of benefits for the carrier, you've helped them look at their three different options. Um, they've signed up. You're in the app, right? You're eating. You know this is good. It's good to go. Husband and wife both there. Everything's perfect, right? And you're what I would do is I would get the approval on my screen, and then I would probably before I gave them the approval, I would be like, hey, while this is at underwriting, just give it 5, 10 minutes. I want to bring you back to exactly what we talked about before, right? We've experienced some losses. Hell, almost every American has. But there are programs that are designed to prepare you for retirement that allow you to capture all the gains of the upside when the market does do well. But in any given year, the lowest amount of interest you can ever earn in your account is 0%. There is no negative losses. The lowest you can ever earn is 0%. Jonah, now I got one question for you. If 2008 were to happen again, would that affect your ability to retire?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, if I can get you with a specialist, if I can get you one of our retirement experts, where they're going to give you a free educational opportunity for you to ask all of your questions, there's no cost associated with this. But if I could put you in touch with our top people that can educate you on these other programs that exist, they may or may not be a good fit for you, but at least you'll walk away from a 15-minute call having learned something. Would you find value in that?
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, because my cousin that actually happened to my cousin Randall. He had to work at Walmart for another 4 years because he couldn't afford to retire.
Don't be like Randall, Jonah. I'm sure he's a great guy, but don't be like Rand. You know what I mean?
Yep.
However your rapport is with the client. But those are that's a number of ways that I've converted and just gotten to that second appointment. And then from our website, you go into the agent portal, you go to the Ask a Specialist, you pick one of the specialists that you have a relationship with, which Jonah and Claudia were talking about this. Like, the number one thing that I took away from my first summit, Jonah, was was this, where you see a guy walking across stage and you're like, that guy, and I'm sitting here, that guy, like, you just realize anybody can do this job. And then you determine from that stage during the award ceremony, which I encourage you guys to go to, that's when you'll be like, oh my gosh, dude, that guy, that lady, those group of dudes, that guy's 22, that guy's 58. Like, I am these people. I can do this. I belong up there. And that motivated me. So, Jonah, my story is very similar to yours, but back to the annuity stuff. When you close the mortgage protection, you're going to get paid. Not every person is going to show up for that specialist appointment, but I tell you what, man, you only need one. Our average case size company wide since the beginning of time is $147,000 per annuity. Average case size, every single deal across the company. That's pretty good. 147, 4%. What's that? I don't know, $7,000, six. That's lumpy money, Jonah, as I call it, lumpy money. But what other questions do you have? I don't want to ramble. I don't want to get too.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So before I get into my next question, so recap really quickly the right track words to write down in order to sauce it up for the annuity specialists.
Well, the good news is you don't have to nail this right now. I actually have scripting for this. For
Even better.
Yeah. Um, you want to give me boom. All right, it's in the chat, copy paste, but let's read through it together. Okay, that's step one. Jonah, I'll share my screen really quick so you guys can see. Oh, you just gotta give me the
Claudia, can you give him screen access?
no worries, no worries. These are again, there's a lot of ways to do this, y'all. There's a lot of
Just
ways to
gave
do
you
this.
access to share.
Stud. There's a lot of ways to do this. I encourage everybody to pay very close attention to Travis Vincent. And Jonah, if you like, I would happily set a meeting where Travis Vincent and I come and do a training with this group. Because I think he has, that's the best part about being in my position is like, dude, I'm like, dude, this guy's better than me. Like, let's train on his method. Like, so there's a lot of skills and abilities that make up the entire advanced markets team. But Travis Vincent is exceptionally good at setting the appointment for the specialist. And Travis Vincent has never sold one annuity himself, already made almost $40,000 this year. So,
Bro, Travis is one of those guys. Don't underestimate Travis. He's a
sleeper,
savage
dude. Sleeper. Big
sleeper.
sleeper. I don't even, whose agency is he on?
Under Mindy? I don't even know.
I don't
It's a
even
good
know.
question. I'm gonna have to ask
All
him.
right. So health questions, all right through here. They're all done. You go to this. Um, you could ask them this question. This is a Jesse Hantlett question. Pretty good. Would you guys say you're more of spenders or savers? That just gives you a little bit of like a direction of like, okay, they're spenders, so we need to have insurance. If they're savers, will they have assets that they want to protect, right? So Jonah, what do you have set aside that upon a passing away would go directly to your beneficiary? You know, something like an old 401k, CDs, investment accounts, substantial savings. He goes, oh, I got a 401k. I was like, okay, is that with a current or a former employer? Oh, it's with a current employer. Okay. Ballpark, how much do you have in there last time you checked? Okay. If it's with a former employer, great questions right here. Okay, I gotta ask, Jonah, why haven't you rolled it over yet? And say it in an assumptive manner. Jonah, why haven't you rolled that over yet, dude? Come on.
Mm,
Jonah's gonna go, what? Just role play with me, Jonah. Jonah, dude, I gotta ask, bro. Like, why haven't you rolled that over yet?
I mean, we didn't. We just haven't talked to anybody about it. I didn't really think about it. It's kind of just been sitting there.
Dude, well, no worries. Let me tell you this, Jonah. Usually the clients that I help find themselves in one of three categories. Either they have already rolled it over, they are in the process of rolling it over, or to be honest, most people just had no clue they could even roll it over at all. Now I gotta ask you, Jonah, what boat do you find yourself in?
We we just didn't even know we could roll it over. Didn't know that was an option.
Dude, I'm so glad I didn't skip this part of our appointment. We're going to get back to the mortgage protection because I know that's the most important thing right now. But one final question I have for you. If I knew of another way to help you, but I didn't mention it, that'd be kind of weird, right?
Yeah,
Okay, good. Well, the good news is there are programs that allow you to earn money when the market goes up, but you never have to worry again about seeing negative returns on your statements. Obviously, let's get back to the mortgage protection for your home. But don't let me forget about this, dude. Remind me before we get off the call. Make a note real quick, okay? I'll do the same.
okay, I will.
Boom. Right back to your appointment. Okay.
Sorry.
Again, one of the many ways, but a way that I've seen agents do well with. Okay. Furthermore, when you go back to Pinnacle, God, the Pinnacle. Holy moly. Pinnacle Life Group, Agent Portal, retirement right here on the right-hand side. Click that. We have carrier downloads right here, so you have a little bit of resources. Here's some of our scripts. Here's some of our quick links. Your most valuable click link is going to be the specialist request. Oh,
Couldn't be more easy.
it's literally right here. What are those games? Pick your warrior. Like, dude, all of these people are dogs. They kill. Okay. Annuity, cool. All the information. Make sure you're setting the table with accurate information. Like, this is basic client stuff here, but what's the amount that they said they had in their 401k? Okay. What was their primary concern? Like, are they more interested in growth or are they scared about the risk or things like that? Okay. Now, again, I don't want to get too into how to set those appointments. I really, 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 really think the follow-up training is the Travis Vincent collaboration. I think I'm going to get Travis Vincent on this call probably the week after Summit because he just does it so good. And if your agents aren't ready to become annuity wizards, that's good. Do the Travis Vincent method. I think he has the best strategy.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll definitely have to get you guys back on. But we got about 12 minutes left of this call. So we were doing some rapid fire objection handling in the office for our morning sales training this morning. So
Hit me
you
with
mind
it.
if I hit you with some annuity objections?
Yeah, dude.
We'll do some annuity objections real quick, and then we'll open it up for a Q&A after this if we have time.
Yeah.
First one I have for you. Yeah, I need to talk to my financial advisor. It's probably the most common one you get.
Perfect, dude. I'm glad you mentioned that. Listen, Jonah, I'm really not trying to be the coach of your whole team. I just think that if I got a little bit of playing time, I could put a goal in the back of the net for you. And at the end of the day, your retirement is our primary focus. When was the last time you met with your financial advisor and he made sure all the steps that you guys are taking today are going to help you achieve your goals? When was the last time you came out and sat at your kitchen table and did that?
Oh, it's been a couple years.
Perfect, dude. Listen, again, I just want to give you another educational environment where you can learn about the options that are available to you. Most of the time, financial advisors don't offer this because they don't really make a bunch of money off of it. This is a great way to protect your retirement. Legally, your financial advisor can never guarantee you never lose money. However, these products have it written in the fine print, and that gives a lot of people peace of mind. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, well, why
Next.
would I do this if I can get a higher interest rate in the stock market?
Well, it really comes down to perfect, perfect, Joan. I'm glad you asked that. I think you definitely could get a higher interest rate in the stock market, but at your age, there's some sort of risk tolerance that you have. Jonah, the question I have for you is how much of your portfolio are you comfortable, prepared, or willing to lose?
None of it.
Well, none of it. Okay, so if you went to Vegas and you went to go gambling, you would either not go gambling at all if you don't want to lose any of your money, or you'd leave the hotel room with only $1,000 because like, hey, this is the amount I'm comfortable with. But what you just told me is out of the $400,000 you have, you're not interested in losing a dollar, right?
Yes.
But what if I told you I could find you a program that gave you competitive returns as if your money was exposed in the market, competitive returns, but you don't ever have to worry about making up for losses. You never go below 0%. Is that a program that you think would help prepare you for retirement?
That sounds interesting. This honestly sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, dude, listen, to be honest, I'm giving you the elevator pitch, right? If we can get on a follow-up call in 2 or 3 days, probably this time, can you think of any reason why you and your wife wouldn't be home at this time on Thursday?
I can
Because what
make
I'm
that
going
work.
to do on that call is not only am I going to tell you more about how these programs work, but I'm also going to show you some illustrations, which are all legally provided by the insurance companies themselves. You know how, Jonah, when you fly a kite in the sky, what's attached to the kite?
String.
And that string goes where? Back to planet Earth, right? Back to the
Yep.
ground. I'm going to ground this in reality. I'm going to show you the pros, but more importantly, I'm going to show you the cons of these programs. And we're going to see if they fit for you. They're not great for everybody, but I've seen a lot of clients find that a portion of their portfolio would be valuable to protect from that market volatility. I still think some risk is good, Jonah. I'm bullish. I always think the market's doing well, but I think there's a small part of your portfolio that we could definitely protect from any sort of volatility or risk. Great question.
Mm, that's good. And then pause really quickly and let me know your thoughts, Spencer. But the way I look at annuities is like a lot of the guys on this call, myself included, like, dude, we're in our 20s. So an annuity wouldn't make sense because like if the market tanks, it's all good because we have enough time to ride it out and get back to the highs. But back to what we were talking about earlier, like that's why you see a lot of people that, maybe they were planning on retiring, but they have to work at Home Depot or Lowe's for an additional few years because well, dude, they lost 20, 30% of their portfolio. They can't afford to retire at this point. And so it's for the people that don't have as much time for it
Yeah.
for the market to regain.
You know what's really cool? After 5 years of selling a large volume of annuities, I had some extra cash. I did my own. I did my own annuity. You guys want to see what my January statement was on my annuities for rate of return? Spencer
Yes.
Faggioni's Spencer Faggioni's personal annuity with Athene. Okay. Now it started with $50,000. Okay. So I just put 50 grand in. I was like, well, cool. I got a bunch of other irons in the fire, but let's just throw 50 grand, see what happens. I've been telling all my clients to do it for all these years. Might as well put my money where my mouth is. Take a look at this. The statements are one page. Okay. Let's dive into this. Here's my diversification. I did a 25% diversification in the BNP Paribas, the 1 year and the 2 year, and then also the NASDAQ indice. Okay. So right here in this column, when you tell me that you can get better returns in the market, Jonah, on this 2 year point to point index in the BNP Paribas, I get a 265% participation rate. The index went up 5.2%. Spencer Faggioni was credited 13.79 over 2 years. That's a 6.8% rate of return year over a 2 year period. I mean, we've all heard the 7% in the market's pretty good. And you're telling me on 25% of my portfolio, I got 6.8. I'm here for it. The other one, 2-year index, 165% participation rate, Jonah. The index went up 24.95%. Spencer's interest in that account went up 41.17%. Divide that by two, that's a 20.75 rate of return year over year for 2 years.
Mm.
Little bit of diversification. Did some 1 year point to points. Look at this. This is even crazy. I have a 185% participation rate. The index only went up 1.84, but because of the par rate, I outperformed inflation. Then over here, we have another 1 year, 105% participation rate, 9.3 performance. I got 9.8. Now, I have a number of clients that I diversified in the exact same index allocations that I have. I had a client that I did a review 25 minutes from my house. I did their review about 2 months ago. They earned more in these index allocations in 1 year than their household income on their salaries. I'm telling you, annuities have the potential to do outstanding things. I chose the no fee option. I chose the annuity with a smaller bonus. So that's enough of that. Let's open it up for Q&A.
Yeah, absolutely. What
I
question
got
do you guys got for Spencer?
I got a question for you, Spencer. So I've been hearing a lot about the like 10% bonus on any money that, people put in on certain Athene products and some other things. How much of a selling point is that? And, when would you actually bring that up in the conversation? Just when you're going over product, or, how much are you actually pitching that they get a bonus on money invested?
The bonus is great, but Nick, it's like if you get a bonus of 10% day one for rolling the annuity, they don't actually let you cancel the annuity in 2 years and then that bonus money is yours. There's a vesting schedule. So, yes, it's really good to jumpstart. The bonus is really valuable right now. People just lost 8, 9, 10% in their portfolio. If I have a product that offers a 14% bonus and I can recover the losses you just had day one and get your account kicked back up plus some, that's a huge selling point. It's not often the primary selling point, but again, I think for the interim, a guy like you, Nick, I know you very intimately and very well, and we've worked very well together in the past. My recommendation for you would be tee up a specialist, but be present on all of the pitch calls with the specialist for every single close with the client, and you can learn to do this independently on your own. Great question. Do you prefer PE over PE plus? Again, that's like asking, would you do the UHL? I mean, I guess maybe it's not like the life insurance kind of stuff, but different products have different benefits for different clients' needs and circumstances. Once you become an expert or understand which product does what and when and why, you can make more intelligent product recommendations to the clients. But again, the specialist team's there to do case design, case prep. Someone like me, you can give me the makeup of it, and I'll just tell you, hey, that's the product that I would recommend. Still doing a lot of learning. Dude, the best way, Ben, that you can do learning is tee it up to the specialist, be present on that Zoom call, listen, watch, learn. I have an entire 6-step curriculum for those of you that want to learn how to do this of how to learn annuities um, day one from the very first specialist request you send up. So I have a lot of methods for you guys to learn. But again, the Travis Vincent, Jonah, we got to teach these people to find the money, tee up the specialist. Shit sticks, bro. Excuse the language, but it will stick and they will close it. Janelle smashed a call with me this morning. She shocked me with all the questions my client had. How else are we going to know to do that on our own unless we learn through the specialist team? Are there any health required parameters or annuities that we should spend 59? No health questions at all, no underwriting. All we got to do is make sure they have enough money to not liquidate their entire household's bank accounts and assets. I think mindset, guys, here's what I would recommend. If you want to learn annuities, I have this phrase called IPAs, income producing activities. The reason I sold a lot of life insurance money, a lot of life insurance is because from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., I only did income producing activities. Even when I had a team, Jonah, and they would walk up to me, it'd be 10:30, I'd be in the middle of the dial session. They'd be like, hey, Spencer, I got this case yesterday. And I would kindly, I'd say, I'd listen. I go, oh, that's a really good question. Got great news. I'm pretty sure I can help you out. Why don't we wait till 12:05 after I'm done with this dial session? I'll grab you during my lunch break. And my
Yep.
whole team, they understood the culture and they stopped asking me dumb questions while I'm trying to do dials. So if you maintain the discipline of from 8 a.m. to freaking 8 p.m., plus or minus a bathroom or a lunch break, I get it. Income producing activities, Jonah, there's only two: dialing the phones and running an appointment. Those are the only two things you can do. And in that direct moment, you may yield an income. Hiring agents is the third one, but that takes a little bit of time and recruit and train and things like that. And if you guys do that and do what I did back in 2017 in Seattle, I would go through the day in the field, get my S kicked in, or sometimes I had a winter day. I used to have this phrase called 10K a day. 10K a day was the benchmark that I said, if I could do $10,000 in issue pay premium, that's a good day for Spencer. Even still, on those days where I wanted to sit there and pat myself on the back and go to the rooftop bar and take a look at the view of the Puget Sound and all that, you know what I did? I printed off a product brochure for one carrier. I sat there with a pencil and a highlighter and I just read. And I put on a movie that I've seen 1,000 times, and it was always Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. The plot is it's a 5 hour long movie. Most of the scenes aren't exciting, and I just learned. And that's what made me different, because I was willing to go just a little bit further than the other top producers. And so when I came into this business, broke records and learned the things that paid me the most money the quickest, they go, "How did you do it? How'd you do it?" Like, dude, I'm not better than you. I'm brand new at this. I'm just willing to go a little bit further than you, because at 9 o'clock at night when you're tired and exhausted, I am too. But I said, hey, let me have a glass of wine. Let me crack a cold one. Let me just sit here and put something boring on where I can still chill and lounge and relax and come from my home. But let me just learn something. So that's the advice I would give you guys. Income producing activities. If it, respect yourself. You, yeah.
Amen to that. Man, what a great training. I took some awesome notes. So, Spencer, thank you for hopping on. Guys, tune in for episode 2. Not only learn how to write more annuities, become a top producer, but also learn how to write enough annuities and ask the right questions so you can pull up to your clients in your helicopter. Have a blessed one, guys. See y'all at Summit.
Later, guys.